in the coastal ocean. There's virtually no place you can find that someone is not interested in that area. So for an example of offshore wind, the Principal Power Project went and consulted with multiple people in Oregon and said, where's the best place to put this wind float offshore project? And after consulting with the crabbing industry and the shipping industry and the telecom industry, they found a location about 15 nautical miles offshore in 300 meters of water. Everyone said, yes, that's a great place to put it. And as soon as they filed their lease, another fishing fleet came through and said, you could not have found a worse place to put that. That's our prime fishing ground. So clearly, everyone has a stake in the ocean, and I think that it's important to think about how we can try to make better use of this in I'd say a less exclusionary way, a more integrated manner. So one way that we're thinking about the societal influences on the ocean, and one of the reasons I think societal influences are really great, is that it gives us this opportunity to shape the evolution of the technology, not just from a technical and an economic perspective, but from a standpoint of what society is willing to accept. And so one of the projects we're working on now is what's called sustainability of tidal energy. It's an NSF funded project which is looking at how to integrate engineering, environmental, and societal considerations towards the design of marine energy systems. As we've gone through this project, we've found that outreach is critically important. In the absence of any sort of outreach and communication, people fill in their own conclusions. So for example, on the Washington coast, if you ask people how they feel about wave energy, they'd say, well, that's ridiculous. You know, you don't want 1,000 of those tiny converters sitting off the coast, because right now the converters are all relatively early stage. And if you wanted to deploy a large array of them to generate real power, you would need 1,000 of these. But you'd never get financing to build 1,000 tiny converters right now. No bank would look at you and say, bank looks at you and said, how are you going to maintain those? What's your business plan? What's to prevent one from breaking off and washing ashore? And so when we think about what the technology is going to look like, it's important to